Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Entertainment Expansion. We are your hosts, Tyler Callahan and Mike Ferrante. Mike, how you doing?
Well, as always, Tyler, I am chilling. How are you doing?
I'm chilling myself. 2020 was a drought of movies. We've gone over that plenty of times on the podcast and numerous episodes, but 2021, pandemic's on the way out. We got our first blockbuster of the year. Maybe we didn't watch it in a nice IMAX screen like it's intended, but we have a blockbuster. Thank you to Warner Brothers with Godzilla versus Kong. One of the movies that was supposed to come out last year. And I think this is honestly the easiest movie to describe. Godzilla fights Kong a few times, and that's basically the movie. But obviously there are spoilers, and there are some spoilers for this movie. Yeah, it's a monster movie, but you know. So, Mike, what'd you think of the movie?
Well, how do I put this delicately? The movie was decent.
Putting it real
The
delicate.
It wasn't my favorite
Hmm.
movie to watch, because the human story, like for what it was, yes, the movie was a lot of fun to watch. Because when Kong and Godzilla went up to bat and versus Mechagodzilla, that was a lot of fun to watch.
Hmm.
Where it really lost me is when they went into the essentially, I'm gonna laugh for saying this, the upside down world, right? At the center of the universe
Okay.
or center of the earth, whatever.
Hmm.
That's where it really fucking lost me. Yeah, it just kind of not a lot of it made sense in my opinion.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. The shit. What was the name of it again? It's inverse. What's the name of the
I couldn't even tell you the
Okay.
actual name that they called it. That's why I called it the upside down place because funny enough, we were from Stranger Things in the movie, but she doesn't go to the upside down place. Hmm.
Yeah, we'll talk about her in a
Would
few
have
minutes and how
would have
that.
been two on the nose.
I understand where you're coming from. Personally, I didn't mind it. It's kind of out of left field, but also Adam Wingard, who has come in to direct the movie for this one, and for each of the MonsterVerse movies, there have been each one has had a separate director. So
Yeah,
while there might be a unified vision for the movies, it's not like Snyder and with DC movies, and as far as I know, there's not even like a Kevin Feige kind of producer running this. So it's a bit hard to keep it all airtight and
contained.
connected.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I think I was okay with it because one, Kong needs a way to fight Godzilla. So
yeah.
going there, getting a weapon works. Uh,
Stormbreaker, if you will.
Basically, he becomes Thor.
Yes.
Just missing the eye patch. But
Oh, he'll get that eye patch.
I think I like how they tried to connect it to Skull Island, how it's like the same kind of environment. And, from Skull Island, they did kind of hint that there is a history to Kong and to other monsters,
Yes.
which you did see when you go to the island. Now, obviously, if I want to start poking holes, how the fuck did Kong go from that island, that world, to that island? Because the whole journey getting there, not easy. It's not easy getting there, or getting a portal there. Also, Godzilla kind of OP at times. I gotta say, like, because the first half of the movie is the journey getting
Yeah.
there. Everyone's happy down there. Kong, the humans, and Godzilla's like, "I heard you talking shit," and then just melts a hole to the world in
Yes.
5 seconds from Hong Kong. It's like, all right, you can clearly go whenever you want.
It's okay though because it's Godzilla. He can do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I guess he's a walking nuclear reactor. I guess so.
Yeah, that was one thing that I was kind of a little apprehensive about is glowing back. I was kind of like, do they really need that?
Well, they only did it once for the first Godzilla, and it was like a big hype moment, and it worked there. King of the Monsters is like, all right, we're gonna do it a bit more because he's fighting more monsters. But I kind of agree with you. It seems like every minute or so,
His back was just
he's lighting up.
glowing blue,
Yeah,
and it's like I get it. It's kind of like a power up thing, I guess, but it's like, do we really need to see it?
honestly, I know it's not probably not the best reference, but it's basically like Dragon Ball. Like Goku becomes Super Saiyan the first few times, it's a big deal. and then he just
Yeah.
turns it off and on whenever he wants. That's what
Yeah.
Godzilla's doing with this.
Yeah, it's not a bad
Because
comparison.
yeah, first movie, it's a big deal. Got King of the Monsters, he starts to do it more, and at this time, it's like anytime Kong moves at him, it's like, all right, I'm lighting up.
Yeah.
Overall, though, I think it's a pretty good movie. My thought overall is that it's pretty good, considering how bad it could have went plot wise, and there are
Sure.
some parts of the plot that are pretty bad. I think
Very.
this definitely does feel, and please, let me know if you think this is the wrong idea, but this definitely felt like it's Godzilla versus Kong. This is a Kong movie featuring Godzilla.
Yeah, for the most part. It was heavily revolved around Kong.
Yes, yes. Like, yeah, he's got the first title in it, but it's basically Kong's journey to a new home while trying to deal with Godzilla while Godzilla's off doing his own thing. Which I didn't mind because there has to be an actual plot. You can't just have him fighting
Yeah.
for 2 hours. And I thought the plot was half decent, and I think the Kong side of characters were good. I like the child. I like the scientist. That was a
Yeah.
solid group. Except the rich daughter, she was kind of a bitch and just
Well, I
annoying.
feel like that was supposed to happen though.
I know that was her role, and I mean, I guess she played it well. Godzilla's human characters, though, from King of the
Oh my
Monsters.
god.
My God, oh, just
I think that's what turned me off a lot about the movie. Like whenever they showed up on screen, I was like, I really don't care.
that's when I pulled out my phone. It's like, all right, well, who was the guy? Kyle Chandler. Like, he's a good actor, but he has literally 2 scenes.
Yeah.
There's a, it's like, there's another pretty famous actor in there that only had one line in the movie. And it's like, what? Like, I saw his name, I was like, oh, that's cool. It's I think he's from The Wire. I forget his name right now.
Yeah, I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, I'm gonna go pull up his name. But anyway, like, I saw him in the title card. It's like, oh, cool. Getting more interesting human characters, and he has one line that the city's being evacuated, and I never saw him again. But where we spent, instead of spending time on them, who do we spend time with? Millie Bobby Brown, the kid from Deadpool 2,
Yep.
and a conspiracy theorist.
Which
Fantastic.
was, I was getting very, very weird vibes from that whole trifecta. I was like, something's just off about this. It just doesn't sit right.
Also, I just feel bad for. I'm just calling him the kid from Deadpool 2 because, like, he stole his brother's van for her. She immediately hijacks it and was about to take off, leaving him there stranded. And he
Yeah.
gets shit on when he questions anything her or the other guys say. Like,
Yep.
oh my God, he drinks tap water. What a bitch.
Yeah, it's
I feel bad for him. Like, yeah, are those two right? Yes, but I'm being too hard on him.
from one point of view.
Well, I just feel like they weren't, like, the chemistry between those three was annoying. Like, it wasn't likable. There was no camaraderie. Like, I felt with the Kong people.
Yeah.
Like, the Kong people, like the male scientist. Yeah, maybe he has a different point of view on what he wants to do, but he works with the scientist and the girl, and they work with Kong and they support him. Godzilla's, by the way, like, Godzilla's humans. Like, they never meet Godzilla at all,
Ever.
ever.
They'd all die. They'd all
Yeah.
die.
Yeah. Oh, and
You're just
the guy I
what
was
the
talking
fuck
about,
are these?
Lance Reddick. Lance Reddick. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got Lance Reddick in this, and he gets one line. I don't know. Also, I feel this movie coming in at just under 2 hours. I feel there was stuff cut.
They were what?
Yeah, I feel there was content cut from this, especially toward the ending. It felt like it just sped run to the credits. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. Like, what could they have really cut? I feel like that they did what they needed to do in the story.
Yeah, but like I
It
feel you
didn't
could have maybe.
feel like an incomplete movie.
It didn't feel like an incomplete movie. It's just that after the final battle, it just feels rushed. Like, I think maybe show a few minutes of where the humans are post, maybe a couple months, or how does the world view Godzilla or Kong post that battle, and then wrap it up.
Well, I think they're gonna go a very similar way of Batman vs Superman. So Godzilla is actually gonna go to DC for a hero committee
Okay.
because
The Senate called him in.
yeah, the Senate called him in and said, "Hey, we got to talk about your use of power. Should you be able to act?" And that's where they're going to introduce their Lex Luthor-like character, who's going to
Uh-huh.
have some crippled guy blow up DC, and then that's going to spark
Crippled
whole
Mothra
nother
coming back
Kong
from the dead.
movie. Yep. And that's when you're gonna have Kong versus Godzilla 2.
Uh-huh. Fight
Because then
harder.
Kong's like, no man, you can't be doing this. I did get when our one friend said he was getting Batman vs Superman vibes from this movie because he's not wrong.
No, especially toward the end, it's
It's like identical.
yeah. Toward the
And
end,
like
it's
not in a good way. Man
from
creates something to kill Godzilla.
Mhm.
Uh, the more humanoid species, Kong, has a devastating weapon that could kill Godzilla.
Sorry, we need to expand on that. It's not something to kill Godzilla, like Batman v Superman, where they use Zod's body to make Doomsday. These people used King Ghidorah's one of his heads to
Yeah.
control Mecha Godzilla. So it's literally making something the previous enemy was to make a new enemy for Godzilla.
And that didn't really work too well.
No, it didn't. Also, apparently, I read online the Japanese guy, the pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently he's the son of the Japanese guy from the first two Godzilla movies. That would have been nice to maybe get a bit of backstory why he wants to kill Godzilla, because he believes Godzilla's the reason his father's dead. That would have been nice, a little
Yeah.
motivation. But
That's what you think.
yeah. But when I read online, I got to read those comments about it. Yeah, it's. I get it. It's a monster movie, but would have liked a little.
Like I said, the movie was strong in aspects of the monsters.
Agreed.
The story around it is where it falls apart.
I also agree, because again, like, if they want to have this connected universe, you got to start strengthening up the characters. Like, I was
Yes.
fine with King of the Monsters having shitty humans because the fights were cool, and you kind of get away with it here. But if you're going to have sequels to this, and you're going to keep these characters around, they need to be better.
Yeah.
Because when you're spending half the movie dedicated to them, walking around and doing stuff, avoiding towers crumbling, I need to actually care. Because I'll tell you right now, the only person I would have cared that died in that movie would have been like the little girl. If anyone else died, I would not have give two shits.
That's a very good point.
Let's talk a little bit about the fights, because we actually got quite a few, and it was
we
kind of
do.
like
And there's some good ones in there.
it was kind of like a boxing or like an MMA, where it's like round one, round two.
Oh yeah, that was.
It was nice.
I did enjoy it.
I did like how some of it was in the daytime. The King
Yep.
of the Monster fights were good, but a lot of it was in the dark. Obviously, to hide the CGI, cheap, and all that. But I did like how they went all out. First one was in sunset mode. You can clearly see them. Definitely put. I mean, it wasn't their choice, but Kong was definitely at a disadvantage being surrounded by water.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I like they showed their strengths when needed.
Yeah.
So like,
because there were times where just Kong was just mopping them up, and then there was times where Godzilla was like, "All right, dude, you know what? I'm gonna stop fucking around. I'm gonna start getting serious in here."
Yeah, Kong starts to get cocky with the axe, and Godzilla's like, "All right, you want me to actually kill you? Let me try to actually kill you now." And, dislocates his shoulder, puts him in the ground. It's like, okay, we got it.
Yeah. I like at the end how like Godzilla could have finished him and then didn't. It was kind of like, yo, real recognize real though. You put up a good fight. Stay down.
Yeah, I do like how they have a little bit of respect at the end, which he better, because he's the only reason he's alive, thanks to Kong taking down Mechagodzilla.
But I feel like we're ignoring something pretty big.
Which is?
How are these two operating on an intellectual plane? Are they just animals? Like, we know Kong is somewhat intelligent because he can technically communicate with the little girl through sign language and the other researcher, right?
Yep.
Godzilla, as far as we know, is he operating just on a primal instinct, or does he have some level of intelligence to comprehend like an ally or an enemy, rather than, well, obviously he can comprehend an enemy.
Yes. I think they're just acting like two different animal species in the wild. All right. They just have that feeling.
Yeah.
And like they see through the fight, it's like, all right, Godzilla dropped the axe. Not Godzilla. Kong dropped the axe. So fine, he's not going to take a swing at me. He did save my life. I'll drop it. Because again, until the third round, where Kong had the axe, Godzilla wasn't looking for the kill.
Yeah.
He twice, first time he let Kong live. The second time, all right, fine, he got the axe and he knocked him down. But the third time's like, all right, you're gonna try and kill me. I'm taking you down. So I think Kong understood, like, I don't want any of this anymore.
Yeah. All it took was a little girl saying Kong is not the enemy.
Yeah. Which is true. I mean, they were there to just ship him back home. They never meant to like ship him to fight Godzilla. I do find it funny. Well, actually, no, I do find it funny how like when Godzilla first attacks that plant in Florida, and like the news is like breaking news. 5 dead from Godzilla. It's like, do you know
That's
how
it?
many people? Like King of the Monsters showed like a quarter of America being fucked up, and we're freaking out over 5 dead people from a Godzilla attack. Really?
And 5, that's it out of that entire facility. Only 5.
Yeah, kind of a little unbelievable number there.
Yeah. And such a specific number, just 5.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a pretty big lab, isn't it?
It's a pretty big lab. I know a lot of people running around. You're telling me no falling debris killed someone, or just not just 5
Yeah,
people?
just 5. It was the 5 door guards that didn't want to leave their post.
Too dedicated. I'm noticing definitely a sci-fi, like technology level creep happening over these movies. Because the first Godzilla was modern day, so modern day choppers, modern day army, whatever. That's fine.
Yeah.
Kong was set during Vietnam War, so that's fine. But Godzilla 2 was like, well, we have this super carrier that's like a battleship in the sky, so we can travel from continent to continent to watch the fights. Fine, whatever. It's been a few years, but now you have weird kind of energy weapons. You have facilities that can make Mechagodzilla in under like 5-6 years. You have an underground system to send your spaceships basically from Florida to Hong Kong in like 12 hours.
Yeah.
Like, where is
And
this
you
coming
can
from?
also go to that different dimension where the monsters come from.
Oh yeah, where's that whole base in Antarctica? Where was that? When was that built?
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Or
we built this decades ago.
when
We
did we
just can't
discover
go.
the technology that could actually handle that type of pressure?
Yeah, because he mentions like, oh, they did an expedition once, and then but like as soon as they went in, they got crushed by the gravity. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, when was this? Was this the 80s? Was this 2 years ago? But then what? In the following 2 years, this company happened to make a device that can do it perfectly.
Yeah, like how are they getting their test results?
That's true.
Because if it goes through, you need something alive on the other side to say, hey, it worked, or hey, it didn't. Unless you just lose radio contact, like, oh well, it didn't work. We don't have radio contact anymore.
Yeah, you just assume they're dead, which that would have been interesting. Like if they got there to the the castle at on the upside down world, and like maybe she's alive.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like if if we want to start nitpicking things, like they could have like explained it better. I'm fine with the technology. I get it. They needed to for the movie, but you could explain how technology crept up that fast.
Crept up. That's one way to put it.
Yeah, I'll also like just going back to like the 5 to 8 people dead from that attack. All of Hong Kong's dead, basically.
Yeah. There's
That's
no way
another
they evacuated that fucking city that fast.
All right, so in this universe, in this monsterverse, in the past 5 to 6 years, Boston is fucked, DC is fucked, and Hong Kong is gone now. We're running out of cities here.
Well, there's still New York.
For now.
Or maybe they don't want to do New York again since the original Godzilla remake back in the early 2000s. The one that wasn't actually Godzilla, it was just dinosaurs.
Well, yeah, we won't get into that. Maybe that's the next monster they'll fight and kill.
Hopefully.
It's going to be a Deadpool 2
fake
with
Godzilla.
It's going to be Ryan Reynolds fixing everything. We got this Godzilla fixing that one. Yeah, overall though, I think it's a good movie. It's definitely worth a watch.
It's entertaining.
It is entertaining. Like, unless it was the Godzilla human characters, I was not bored.
That's true.
And again, it's a short movie, just under 2 hours. You're in and out. They don't waste your time. There's no slow motion like another movie.
Oh, listen, man.
So it's got my recommendation. Mike, does it have yours?
Yeah, why not? I say give it a watch.
Okay.
It's not a long movie. You could get through it. Even if you haven't seen any of the others, it's still a fun movie to watch just because of the fight scenes. Like, it's kind of cool. And one thing I will give this movie is that they spent a lot of their money on the CGI for Kong and Godzilla, and it paid off because the CGI for those two are pretty much flawless throughout the entire movie.
Agreed. They definitely spent the money there. It shows, and it's good because they were going ballsy with a lot of daylight shots. It looks good.
It
It does.
does. Like, they really pulled it off. I was impressed, like, with a lot of Kong stuff,
Hmm.
because like when the light hits him a certain way and like you see the actual sunshine like glimmering off his hair and shit, I was like, okay, you know what? This deserves some respect. But as always, you guys know what we think about the movie. We recommend it. Do you guys recommend the movie? Do you have plans to watch Kong versus Godzilla? If so, let us know what you think about it. As always, find us at Entertainment Expansion on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. As always, thank you for listening. Have a great day.